And now for something completely different.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
strap yourself in.
Because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
What's going on?
1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's go, 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 go!
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And yes, I am very much mistaken.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Right, Chris.
All right, good afternoon. Oh, excuse me there. Let me start that again without the frog in my throat. I'll just hop off and come back again. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day, good night, goodbye, wherever you are. Welcome along to the second Formula One show of the new season. The 2023 season, Bahrain kicked us off last week, or drove us off, or started, whichever way you want to say, got us into gear. This is Saudi Arabia. It's a street circuit. It's a night race. It doesn't get any better, does it? Not for me, personally. In some ways, I don't like the street circuits because you can't overtake as much. But in other ways, I love them. I love them. And this one is going to be an interesting one. Have you seen the starting grid? Wow. Okay, this is what Toto Wolff has been saying about Mercedes this season so far. And he's only had one race. At a certain stage, at a certain stage, we came to the conclusion we got this wrong. Simply, we got it wrong. Why we got it wrong, we're still analysing. Because we follow data and we follow what the simulations tell us. In that case, we were misguided by those data. Wow. And he went on to say, after that, I think that the car is going to look very different in 5, 6 or 7 races based on the decisions that we have taken and the development direction that we have embarked on. It sounds like he's already sort of given up the ghost, really, doesn't it? They're saying here on the F1 site, has he given it up already before it started? Well, you've got to say, it's starting to sound like that. It's starting to sound. But look, people have been saying to me, Chris, who are you backing? Who are you backing this season? I nailed my colour to the mast before the start of the last race. So I'm not suddenly surprising or jumping on any bandwagon, but this is the man. This is the man for me. Yes, it is. Let me just put that back now. There we go. I'm in the middle. Fernando Alonso. Look, I've got a picture of him smiling there. That's not bad, is it? I think, great start. I love Aston Martin, one of my favourite cars all the time. And I think Fernando Alonso's got the experience. Vettel, well, we saw he was on his way down. But they are growing into this, Aston Martin. And you will see when we look at the starting grid. But let's have a look at the said starting grid. Wow. Let me just get this up on a bigger screen for myself. It's an interesting one. Let's put it that way. Let me just load it up on here. Get your predictions. I was going to say get your predictions in, but yeah. Oh, Will Smith is on the on the grid. I wonder who's going to hit. So let's have a look and let us go down here the grid. We're going to start at the bottom. In 20th, it's Sargent. Didn't have a bad first race last week, but he's 20th. Norris 19th for McLaren. Williams, of course, for Sargent. AlphaTauri 18th. The second Williams Albon is in 17th, and the second AlphaTauri to Sonda is in 16th. Verstappen, wow. All the way down in 15th. Now, you've got to say, if this was a normal circuit race, you would fancy him to literally just... We've seen Lewis Hamilton do it. That is... Oh, they're just showing the Aston Martin now. I'm sorry, that is a absolutely amazing car. I love the colour. It just looks unbelievable. But you would expect Verstappen to go all the way through. But this is the street circuit, so it's not going to be as easy to pass. So we're going to see. Bottas is in 14th for Alfa Romeo with his co-driver Zhou at 11th. Leclerc, we know, was given the grid penalty, and he is down in 12th. So I presume he finished second in qualifying because he had a 10-place grid penalty. In 11th, like I said, it's Zhou from Alfa Romeo. Hulkenberg, the first of the Hasses, is in 10th. Gasly for Alpine is in 9th. Piastri, the second McLaren, is in 8th. Hamilton down in 7th, but he'll take some joy, obviously, that Verstappen is so far down. And then everybody from sort of here upwards, from Hamilton. Ocon, Alpine, 6th. What a good grid for him. Stroll, the first of the Aston Martins, in 5th. Aston Martins are going to be really coming strong this season. Sainz, the Ferrari, is in 4th. Russell, once again, showing Hamilton up and finishing third. Well, finishing third. Third on the starting grid. I've got to get my football head off and get my racing head on. Alonso, my man, our man, Leicester till I die's man. Alonso is in 2nd and Perez is in 1st. And I don't think Perez will be too happy. He's not got his partner up there with him protecting him. Will Alonso be able to use his experience? Because pretty much it is very, very, unless you break down or you make a mistake, it's very hard. It's easy not to let anybody go past, on a street circuit. And this is a hell of a street circuit in Saudi Arabia. Nate, good morning to you. Good afternoon to me. How are you? Chris is in. Good evening, Chris. Chris, if you ever wanted to come on to a show and co-host with me, you would be very, very welcome, sir. He's gone Perez 1, Verstappen 2nd. Wow, you think Verstappen's going to get up from 15th to 2nd? I won't put it past him. If anybody can do it, he can. But I just think it's difficult with it being a street circuit. Alonso is 3rd. They've made changes, mate, to the track this year to make it more exciting because the side... Yes, they are. Yes, they are indeed. And I did have those written down, but I didn't keep them. But yes, I think there's 2 corners they've done it on, and they've made it a lot wider and therefore a lot faster. So yeah, that could actually work in Verstappen's favour. I had forgotten that. So that's the grid as it stands. Formula One, it returns to the fastest. It is the fastest street circuit on the calendar this week, today, in about 17 minutes for the Saudi Arabian GP. The thrilling layout is bound to ensure drama that will take your breath away, says Formula One. We will see. What's the circuit like? Well, funny you should ask that, because I've jumped one here. But what is the circuit like? It's fast, very fast. Average speeds around the Jeddah Corniche circuit are around 250 kilometres an hour, quicker than those at Silverstone, and second on the 2021 calendar only to Monza. It is quite simply the fastest street circuit ever seen in Formula One. While the track also features the most corners on the calendar with 27 of them, many of them quick, sinuous bends as the drivers wend their way along the Jeddah waterfront. Now, I'm just going to see if I can get up what Chris was referring to there. Let me just click on a few things and I can get it up for you. Races, Saudi Arabia. Nope, I must have deleted it. Oh, brilliant! But they have made changes to the circuit. I do know that. 14 and 20, yeah, that I'll take you word. Like I say, I'd got a graphic for it, and the graphic somehow I didn't keep it on. More for me. Let's have a look at the circuit, shall we? There it is. That was the last slide that I expected to go up. It's quite a long, thin street circuit. First Grand Prix there was in 2021. There's 50 laps. The circuit length is 6.174 kilometres. That's obviously one lap. And the race distance is 308.45 kilometres. And the fastest lap held here is 1:37.34, which was Lewis Hamilton in that first race, 2021. So he still holds the fastest lap. And that's, I think you need different attributes for the street circuit. Brilliant, Chris. Love to have you on sometime, mate. Love to have you on. It's a fast circuit, yeah. It's a fast circuit, which is why I think Max will make it through. Yeah, I mean, like I say, if he takes his chances, you've got to be careful overtaking. I know they made those wider, but you have got to be careful with it, with overtaking in a street circuit. It can go horribly wrong, but we will see. We will see what transpires. To be honest with you, mate, I don't remember the 2021 Grand Prix in Bahrain. I really don't, unfortunately. Remind me, sir. This is how it stands after one race. Obviously, at the end of Bahrain, Max Verstappen leading with 25. I don't like this 25 thing at all. I've got to be honest with you. I think it should be 10, 9, 8, 7, or even start 20, 19, 18. But 25 points, Max Verstappen first. Perez second with 18. Alonso third with 15. Sainz 12. Hamilton 10. Stroll 8. Russell 6. Bottas 4. Gasly 2. And Albon 1. And all the rest didn't get any points. And of course, Red Bull leading the constructors. Of course they are. Wow, big lead, 43 for them. Aston Martin second with 23. Mercedes down in third. It will be interesting to see. Like I say, Toto Wolff looks like he's going to be making lots of changes to this car. We expect to see a new one, maybe the 5th, 6th, 7th race. Basically admits they're getting it wrong and is almost saying, look, we're not going to do it this year. Because, of course, the way that it is was, with Formula One, you're planning so far in advance that, they're already thinking of next season and the car, etc. And, of course, that changes throughout the season as it changes. I wondered what you meant there, Chris. I wondered what you meant. Hamilton Verstappen had antics on the region, on the track. I mean, that wasn't even a spell check mistake, was it? Let's be honest. Oh dear. Right, let's get rid of that. There we go. So there's a very nice lady on Formula One at the moment, just talking to Max Verstappen. Obviously, I can't hear what's said. I'm going to try and do the graphics again, but it might get taken down. We'll see how we go. See what I can get away with. How did Carlisle get on, by the way, Chris, yesterday? If you did miss it earlier, by the way, there is the second in my edition of Life is a Pitch, or Life's a Pitch. My thoughts on Brendan Rodgers, Leicester City, and where we go to the end of the season. Might not be what you expect, to be honest with you. Might not be what you expect. So let us see. We are about 12 minutes off. 12 minutes and 22 seconds as I speak to the countdown to the, I was about to say kickoff then. To the go, go, go. And of course, we're going to have the formation lap before that. I have a sneaky feeling, you know, and I enjoyed it. But I have a sneaky feeling that we could see an Aston Martin win today. I just fancy Alonso. He's second. All right. In fairness, had it all gone as planned, he probably wouldn't be second. He'd probably be third or fourth because, you know, you've got Leclerc out the way, you've got Verstappen out the way. It all depends. If he can get off to a good start, then this could be an absolutely interesting race. The good thing that I'm quite happy about this, because obviously last week, Verstappen was in front. And let's be honest, that was it over, wasn't it? Once he got to the front, nobody really challenged him. Yeah, a couple of pit stops and what have you, but he was always going to sort of, once he's in front, going to win it. So, you know what I mean? We've got a street circuit where he's down in 15th. Perez isn't Verstappen. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. I was in contact with F1 about what I can use, what I can't use. I've got to be honest with you, and I've emailed them back several times. They're not, maybe it's me being thick, but I don't really know what I can and can't get away with. I'm just not 100% sure. So hopefully we'll be okay, and we'll see. Chris says, I'd like to see Alonso win a race. He would fancy his chances with Perez into turn one more than Verstappen. Definitely. If it was Verstappen on pole, Max would... yes, and I think, you know... But then again, how many years have we been saying this about Lewis Hamilton, in fairness? You know, I mean... It's a bit like Premier League and Scottish League. You know, it's been, you know, Red Bull, Mercedes, but that happens. You know, whenever a team dominates, they seem to dominate for quite a few seasons, and then it's nice to see other teams coming back through. I mean, you know, I'm old enough to remember when Williams used to be winning everything. You know, so. It is what it is, but it is nice to see, hopefully, another team. I mean, even Ferrari, you know, they used to be dominant as well, but they've kind of fallen back a little bit over the last few years. But what's everybody's thoughts? Do you like night? I love night races. It's a bit like I love night football games under the floodlights. I think the cars look it's a different look altogether on that, but it is the second one. When is, I'm just going to say, mate, when is the last, when's the next race, Chris? If you're free, let me know. I don't think it's 2 weeks. I think it's a bit longer than 2 weeks this time. So, apparently, just breaking here, rear suspension and both drive shafts changed on Max Verstappen's car after his failure in qualifying. I'm just reading the bit of paper here. Car 01 Red Bull. This is what technical delegates report. So, Car 01 Red Bull. Gearbox RNC has been replaced, previously used. Gearbox. Hydraulic system, LHS and RHS, outboard rear suspension, including drive shafts, perimeter changes associated with the gearbox replacement, and perimeter changes associated with the outboard rear suspension replacement. Bloody hell, he's nearly got a full car, hasn't he? Car 11, forward floor rearward panel has been replaced. Ferrari car 16, driver headrest padding has been changed. Wow. Alpine Renault car 10, the rear wing assembly has been updated. McLaren Mercedes car 04, LHS track rod assembly, inboard and outboard fixings associated with the LHS track rod, steering rack assembly, and LHS steering wheel rotary switch thumb guard. Why, they don't let anything go past. And I moan about my MOT. But that has what has been altered in the cars. And as we can see there, Max Verstappen, wow, he's had a lot of changes. 2nd of April, you're quite right. Let me know if you're going to be free for that one, Chris. Love to have you on. Love to have you on. Like I say, I love Formula One, but I really don't know rules and regulations and all that. So if anybody wants to be my John Motson, and I can be their Gary Lineker. We should be doing more with this government. There we go. That's my Gary Lineker. Weather today, well, it's nice there. It's 18, I think I read somewhere. 18 degrees, a clear sky and a moderate breeze. Alonso saying he's aiming for another podium. Leclerc says Ferrari need to keep pushing. I did ask this on the show with Doug the other night, the Formula One show. I'm wondering whether Hamilton will still be there at Mercedes at the end of this season, because you know what, he's on 8 Grand Prix wins. He was with McLaren. He saw his chance to win things with Mercedes. He wants that 9th one to beat Schumacher and go top overall. And if he doesn't think that Mercedes are going to deliver that for him, I can see him jumping. Not sure who to. Possibly. I mean, I think you've got to look at teams that don't have any team orders. So, yeah, I mean, let's just have a look here. Could he replace Perez at Red Bull? I can't see him and Verstappen working together, although it would be very, very interesting. He's not going to replace Alonso. Could he replace Stroll? Because his dad's still involved, though, isn't it, Stroll? So I'm not sure about that. Sainz or Leclerc? After that, I don't think there's going to be anybody could offer him the chance to win a 9th championship. I think once you get past Red Bull, Mercedes, Aston Martin and Ferrari, those 4, and obviously he's still with one of those, so that looks nice. That circuit looks very, very nice, I've got to say. But it'd be interesting, because I think, say at the end of the season, if he doesn't think he's going to get away with any, not going to win a 9th championship, I honestly think he'll say, can I do it? Can I do it anywhere else? I think his contract runs out, doesn't it, at the end of this season? So we will see what happens with that. But I won't be surprised to see him leave. Shane is in. Good evening, Shane. How the devil are you, sir? You see so often, don't you? Like Damon Hill. He ended up sort of leaving Williams after he'd won the World Championship, and he went down to. He ended up he went to Arrows, didn't he, for a season? Then Jordan, who are never going to give him another championship, and I can't see Hamilton wanting to do that. I honestly think once Hamilton gets his 9th World Championship, I think he'll retire. I really do, because he's got nothing left to prove, has he? And let's face it, they're all multi-millionaires, so... But wait, happy Mother's Day to everybody. I don't know if I said that at the top of the show, but happy Mother's Day to everybody. Please give everybody, all your mothers, all the love and attention. Fortunately, mine's no longer with us. It's the actually anniversary of her passing next week, so it's a bit of a funny time for me, this. It always drops close, to, obviously, to Mothering Sunday. But please, love your mother and make the most of her while she's here, because... you will miss them when they're gone, even if you don't agree with everything they're doing. Colonel is in. Good evening, Colonel. How are you? Chris, you are a gentleman, sir. Thank you so very much, young man. Thank you so very much. Did you say, come on and listen to an old man making a fool of himself? Brilliant. I appreciate it, mate. I really do appreciate it. And Colonel, like I said, I do hope you are well as well. It's coming up now to time. I just go through the starting grid. Let me bring this up. I don't know whether I might actually, because that's not really much good to you, is it? So let me do this. Nope. There we go. I had to go through every single one. Of course, it was the last bloody one available. That one you can see more of. Like I say, I'm trying to get clarification off F1 if it is okay to use. But if they tell me it's not, then, unfortunately it's not. But I'm still not 100% sure. They were quoting a lot of different things to me. I can't use the logo, which I'm not using. I use a similar font. But we'll see how things stand. Most of the drivers are on mediums. Hamilton's on hard. Leclerc's on soft. Norris is on soft. And Sargent is on medium. On hard, sorry. Every other driver, 16 of them, are all on medium tyres. Yes, it is. You've got my problem, Colonel. We're going to turn football mode off. Soccer, if you're in America. And you've got to turn that mode off and put Grand Prix mode on. The cars are all lining up. I think they're going to go on their formation lap any moment. This was Monaco, and then I say Max has no chance from P15. Yeah, it is a bit far back. Monaco is awful for overtaking, as you quite rightly say there. And we're off. We're off on the formation lap. As we look at it, we've got Perez on the going front, closely followed by Alonso. Slowly snaking away. I got Norris on soft as well, Chris. I got Leclerc and Norris on soft. As you can see on the graph there, I mean, I don't know how true to life that is, but unless he's changed it, but that is what I have got. I'm just going to update it. Ah, right. So, I mean, this is what I love about night matches. Takes me back to Blackpool and Blackpool Illuminations, when I lived there. A little bit better than Illuminations, I think. Ah, dear. 2.22 seconds. Bahrain, fastest stop, went to Ferrari. Wow. Again, you'd mind that if that was your MOT, would you? None of this hanging about. But here we go. They're all going to be lining up. Verstappen won it last year. Hamilton won it the year before. If you want to watch along, you don't fancy, watching the little dots go round, it is on Sky Formula One channel. Sky Sports F1, it is on. That is where you can watch it. Or for $2.29, I believe it is, $2.29 a month, you can get access to what I'm watching here, which is the driver, well, they call it the time, live timing. So you can get links to that. Good. Come on, Butler, get that bus out. I can't do him. No, I just want Norris to do well. Mick Schumacher is still racing. Don't know. I know Mick Schumacher isn't in here anymore. I think he's gone off. Is it to America racing? I'm not sure. Here we go. They are lining up on the grid. They are off on the little thing below that you can see the graph. I haven't seen it yet because obviously I'm a little bit behind. Ever watched that film, The Human Centipede? I don't know why, just watching this reminded me. Human Centipede 1, 2 and 3. My God, 3 was bloody, probably the worst film. That's 2 hours of my life I won't get back. Here we go. We're sat in the cockpit at the moment with Alonso. I think Perez gets away very, very nicely. Yeah, he's 15th, Gray, 15th. The green flag behind. 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's go, go, go. They're off. Perez gets away. Alonso up close with him. Who's got it? Alonso's taken it. Alonso has gone into the lead. He's overtaken Perez on the first corner. It's Alonso who's there. Wow. Brad did say, would his experience pay off? Yes, it did. He got a great getaway. A great getaway there. Well done, Alonso. Oh, somebody's gone off the track. I think it was one of the Alpines, however you pronounce it, has gone off the track. Oh, God, I just love night racing. Cars look, so nice. Alonso, what a move there from the start. And Russell there and trying to get past Sainz, which he does. Incident involving car 14. Alonso noted. Incorrect starting location. Oh, now then. This could be interesting. First lap on lap 1, obviously a 50. McLaren Pastari said he's got damage already. Wow. It's not like watching Leicester this. As boring as it was yesterday, this is interesting. Alonso could be in trouble. If he wasn't parked up right. This could be interesting. And Pastari has already got damage. And he's right at the back. I think he may have stopped. Well, he's way, way back. He's like half a lap behind already. They're putting a new cone on him. So he's back out the pits. He's got the new cone on. There's an incident involving Alonso. So, that's going to be investigated. Alonso's still obviously doing the fastest lap. He's out in front at the moment. We're on lap 2. Norris is coming out of the pits. Not 100% sure what's happened with Alonso there. Let's have a look. Stroll is up to fourth, by the way. He's overtaken Sainz. There's nothing coming up yet about the it was Norris that was in for a front wing. Norris has come in now for a front wing. So both McLarens have gone into the pits. There's a 5-second time penalty for Alonso. Incorrect starting location. There was a front wing for Pistari on lap 2. And then Norris was in as well. And you're looking at 19th and 20th. So already excitement. 5 seconds for Alonso. I'm guessing he's going to... he's not really reacted to it, which is probably experience. And I reckon it'll be, obviously, when he comes in, that will be added on for his first pit stop. Well, what? I mean, no wonder he got a good start. Ah, dear. So Alonso leads, Perez second. I mean, if he had that 5 seconds on, well, he drops down to 18th, Alonso. Perez has overtaken Alonso. Perez, well, I don't know. Perez was very easily went past Alonso there. It is a very wide street circuit, this, isn't it? It's almost like a normal lap. Let's have a look where he's just parking. They're just showing. Was he wrong? Oh, he was too far to the left on his starting position. Wow. Gray, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. Shame for Alonso. Yeah, it is a shame, but rules is rules, I guess. Perez will have straight speed and DRS advantage on Alonso. And come on, Lewis, says Gray. Yeah, Perez, it was just an overtaking move on Alonso. Such a shame for Alonso, but I don't think he was in advance, so you could argue, was he getting an advantage from it? Wow. Perez just gobbled up Alonso, in fairness, there. I mean, he locked up going round the corner, but he held Alonso off, and he now leads. Alonso second, Russell third, Stroll fourth, Sainz fifth, Ocon sixth, Hamilton down to seventh, Gasly eighth, Leclerc 9. Verstappen's up to 11, so he's up 4 places. Sorry, Hamilton's still in 7th. Sorry, I should have said. But he is chasing down Gasly, Pierre Gasly. Or in fact, Gasly's charging down Hamilton. I need to get these glasses changed. Yeah, Gasly's only 0.84 seconds behind Hamilton. And then there's just over a 2-second gap from Hamilton to Ocon. Alonso sticking with Perez, though. It's still less than a second difference. There's a big battle going on for 7th between Hamilton, Gasly and Leclerc. But interesting to see if Hamilton can hold off Gasly. Of course, if Gasly takes him, then Leclerc's going to fancy it as well. So the Red Bulls are currently sat. Verstappen is in 11th. And obviously Perez is up front still. I don't think Lewis is winning. He's in the second string Mercedes car, time to focus on new talent. I did say at the start, Colonel, it would be a big question as to whether he's going to be at Mercedes next year. I believe his contract expires at the end of this season. I honestly think that if he doesn't feel Mercedes can deliver him that 9th World Championship, I think he will move on. I really do. So Russell's in 3rd, but he's got Stroll less than a second behind him in 4th. And then Sainz is less than a second behind him in 5th. The McLarens are really, they're out of it, to be honest with you. Unfortunately. Zhu is up to 10th, but I'm sure Verstappen is going to be racing him down. It'll be really interesting to see how this develops. So Leclerc has overtaken Gasly. Leclerc has moved up to 8th. Let's have a look at this. Right up behind, just slips out to the right. Oh, and then it was Hamilton. They both came up behind Hamilton, had to slow down, and it was just basically Leclerc got the better of Gasly. So now Leclerc is chasing Hamilton. He's about a second behind him. Gasly, I was really surprised. He let him go past so easily, to be honest with you. So we're with Hamilton. Hamilton can see Leclerc in his mirrors. He's coming right, gets right up to him on that straight there. Wow. Leclerc is definitely going for it. There's still about 7 seconds between Alonso and Perez. Max Verstappen goes up to 10th. Max Verstappen is in the points. He's overtaken Zhu, and he is now closing in on Gasly. So he's up to 10th. I've got to be honest with you. You're looking at this, and there's a start involving car 44, Hamilton. Hamilton, half a second above Leclerc, is now being looked at. It's all going on. Hamilton was weaving on the straight, apparently. Oh, I tell you what, he needs to get a loom. No? I'm sorry. Alonso's just fallen back a couple of 0.2 of a second against Perez. So it'll be interesting to see if Hamilton gets anything. Alonso's still on for plan A. Hamilton is showing a black and white flag for weaving as Leclerc picks him off into turn 1. Hamilton is still ahead of Leclerc. And he's not now. So Leclerc, within a couple of laps there, took off Gasly, took off Hamilton, and I've got to be honest with you, it wasn't the hardest of overtakes he'll ever have to do. I mean, Hamilton, Colonel, he said he was in the second car. I mean, it was just too easy for him. It was just too easy. And I said, this is the sort of thing that just makes me wonder. I mean, you know, I said before, Toto Wolff already talking about changes coming in for next season. This season, sorry, coming up, you know, races 6-7. They could see a new Mercedes car. By then, they could be out of the running, they said already. And I have a feeling we're not going to see Hamilton at Mercedes next year. But the big question is where can he go? Because the other three that I mentioned, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Aston Martin, have all got pretty settled driver pairings. Perez has set the fastest lap as well. And Max Verstappen is up for 10th. Chris, what you were saying before, it's proven right. Verstappen now, it says, in 9th. Hamilton's taking him back again. I didn't see that. Hamilton has taken him back. Bottas is in the pits. Bottas has come in the pits. Hamilton went over. But Hamilton has taken back that place off Verstappen. I think you'll want that 9th one, to be honest with you, Chris. Wouldn't you? And he just wants to have a go at it, I think, in a reliable car. I missed then what happened with Hamilton and Verstappen. Yeah, Leclerc's on the soft tyres, so yep, you're quite right. He's the only one on soft tyres now, Leclerc. So Hamilton and Verstappen, that battle could be the one to watch. Perez has increased his lead over Alonso. It's now 1.5, nearly 2 seconds. Russell is over 6 seconds behind Alonso, and Stroll is about 1.5 seconds behind Russell. Verstappen, less than half a second behind Hamilton. I didn't see how Hamilton got that position back, but he's obviously not going to make it easy for Max, and I don't blame him. He doesn't have to. Yeah, Chris, but would you get rid of Alonso? And I think Stroll, he could be the one that could go, I guess. So Hamilton in 8th, Verstappen up 6 places to 9th. Hamilton is not making it easy this time for him. And I say, no way, he doesn't have to. It's a race. He can just hold him off. It's not like he's being lapped or anything like that. So Hamilton, but it's how long he can keep that up for. And while he's doing that, is he able to catch up with Leclerc at all? Alonso has been told that the hard tyre isn't looking great. The hard tyre isn't looking great for Alonso. He's now 2.5 seconds behind Perez. On the straight, can Verstappen take Hamilton? He has. He's gone past him on the straight. DRS there, straight into him. Straight past, put his foot down, and Hamilton had nothing to respond with. Verstappen's taking it again. Now, what will Hamilton do? Can Max Verstappen pull away from Hamilton? That's what we're concentrating on at the moment. Zhou is in the pit. Max Verstappen, they were just riding with him. Came up to the straight. Just pulls out, I presume it was DRS, and just goes well past him and into the corner. And I've got to be honest with you, Hamilton just couldn't stay with him. 3 seconds now, Perez has got the lead over Alonso. As you were saying, Gray. Bottas, yeah, he's down in 19th there, Nate. I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he was, Chris. I said that at the start. I knew that was the case. But then you made me wonder when you said Aston Martin. Yeah, like you said, I think he has got the safest drive. Alonso, there's something happening with his tyres. There's got to be. And we're wondering whether they're now going for a one-stop medium to soft strategy. He's only just started to drop off the back of Perez, perhaps to get out of the dirty air, kicked back by the Red Bull. It's nearly 4 seconds behind Perez now. They're getting the tyres ready in the Mercedes and the Ferrari garage. He does. Now Bottas is 19th, Nate. He's 19th. He's sandwiched between the two McLarens at the moment. Really, Chris? Wow. If he does well at Aston Martin, then he may get poached. Who knows? Alonso is just dropping back and back and back behind Perez. Hamilton is dropping back behind Verstappen. I think that particular battle could be over. He's over 2 seconds behind Verstappen now. And Verstappen is half a second behind Ocon and the Alpine. And he's going to take him, is he? No, not quite. He's coming up a bit. Oh. Of course, Alpine used to be BWT, didn't it? Now he takes him. Verstappen. And Hamilton has gone past Gasly. But Verstappen has gone past Ocon. And he's up into 6th. Norris is not doing well. I mean, he didn't have a good start because he needed a new thing on his car, didn't he? Was it a wing or... And I think Piazza have a new nose cone. Lance Stroll's in 11th. Yeah, it can take a few races to get going, can't it, Chris? Well, look at Mercedes. They're not looking at anything till about the 6th or 7th race for Hamilton. So Perez leads. 4 seconds behind, it's Alonso in 2nd. 7 seconds behind that, Russell in 3rd. And then you got the two Mercedes, Sainz in 4th, Leclerc in 5th, with Verstappen up from 15th to 6th. What a drive. Ocon is 7th, Hamilton is 8th, Gasly is 9th, and De Sunder is 10th. And then Stroll in the second Aston Martin is down in 11th. Verstappen is going after... Oh, someone is coming into the pits. It's Gasly. Gasly is coming into the pits for Alpine. Because it used to be... Does it BWT Racing last year? Now they're the sponsor. And the dad's to do with that, isn't he, Chris? But he's coming out now. Pit exit Gasly. I don't think he's going to lose any spaces. No, he's still in 14th. Sargent in 13th, De Vries in 12th, Albon in 11th, Stroll just in the top 10 on 1 point at the moment. So he's gone onto the hard tyre. Gasly has gone onto the hard tyre. Alonso saying his tyres still feel good. He's in relative fresh air now. 4.5 seconds Perez is ahead. So I'm wondering, is Alonso not going to go for the win and he's going to be happy with second? Leclerc is still on the soft tyre. Medium for most of them, hard down to Hamilton, Stroll, Sargent, Gasly, Magnussen, Zhu, Hulkenberg, Piazza, Bottas and Norris. And we've got a Ferrari in for Sainz. Stop time 2.7 seconds. This is putting Sainz down. He's behind Hamilton as it stands. I think he's going to come out in front of Zhu. No, he's behind him. So Sainz is down to 9th after that pit stop. Still the fastest lap is Perez, nearly 5 seconds above Alonso. Well, we don't know, do we, Chris? That's the big mystery. It's why we love Formula One. We can't. But like football, we can't work it out. No sign of a pit stop for Perez at the moment, though. As we sit with Verstappen, who is now in 5th place thanks to Sainz pit stop. He's actually made up 10 places. And he's going for Leclerc. He's going for Leclerc. No. He's right up his bottom. I thought he was going to take him on that straight. Now Leclerc gets a little bit of air between the two of them. He's on the out. Oh no, he's gone into the pits, Leclerc. Leclerc has gone into the pits. So Verstappen is up to 4th. Verstappen is up to 4th. Obviously, he's still got to pit, but he's up to 4th. Gray, you are a gentleman, sir. You are a gentleman. Thank you so very, very much. Really do appreciate that. Thank you, sir. You are too kind. Thank you. I will have a beer after we finish here and raise the glass to you. So Ocon's in the pit. Leclerc is coming out. And he is in 8th, 1 place behind Sainz, his teammate. Verstappen in 4th. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. He has got to pit, of course. Hamilton's up to 5th. Tsunoda is 6th. At the other end, it's Norris, Bottas, Piastri, I can never say that, Hulkenberg, Zhu and Magnussen. So, Stroll is going into the pits now. I'm guessing. No, he stopped. Lance Stroll, Aston Martin, the co-driver for Alonso. He's pulled over. And it says a lot that Bottas has only just overtaken him and now Norris has only just overtaken him. His race is over. Stroll is out and the safety car is out. Which always makes it interesting because everybody, of course, always concertinas up. Verstappen's just done the fastest lap. Now, are we going to see anybody taking advantage of the safety car and coming into the pits? Looks like it was a bit of a smash. I hope they show it again. Well, not because it's a smash, but so we can see what happened. Don't think there's too much of a risk to other drivers, to be honest with you. Yeah, it looked like he spun. Safety car has been put into use for the 3rd straight year. The backmarkers who had yet to go into the pit entry have dived in, with Tassonda, Albon and De Vries all in. Bottas has pitted for a second time, and here comes Perez, and Perez is pitting. Perez is pitting. Pit stops add 11 seconds time lost under the safety car or the virtual safety car. Russell's being told to pit as well. Box, box, they're saying to him. Well, they don't look ready for him. Red Bull are getting the tyres down now. I love the pit stops. I'm amazed by them. And now they're getting ready for. Is this Alonso that's coming in? Perez is in the pit. Alonso is it is Alonso is in the pit. Of course it is, because Stroll's out. And Russell, the top three, have come in the pit. Perez has gone out. Alonso's still there. It's not a good chain. That's not low. I know he had his 5-second penalty. Russell is in. Verstappen is in, having just got his fastest lap. He's thinking there, bloody hell, Aston Martin, pull your fingers out. Of course. Oh God! Honestly, I need to get a brain. I certainly need to plug the one I've got in. I'm thinking they're not doing anything. They're just sat there. This is really bad. What's going on? It was his 5-second pit stop. So safety car is still out at the moment, I think. We've got Perez 1, Alonso 2, Russell 3, Verstappen 4, Sainz 5, Hamilton 6, and I think everybody there has made a pit stop. I believe everybody has made a pit stop. Great, it is a lot more exciting. I'm not going to lie. We do have the safety car out, as you can see there on the graphic. Let's have a look what happened to Stroll. We're with Stroll now on the camera facing back. I'm not sure what we're going to see here. Oh, somebody's coming up well behind him. Oh, he just went off. He just pulled over. Wow. So I think, to be honest with you, because the Alpine was really gaining on him, so I think he'd lost power, because that Alpine was really catching up with him. And it just went past him, and then he just sort of drove off. I think he must have lost power. They're just saying it's going to be chaotic when we get back to the restart. Verstappen's going to be very happy indeed, Chris. Yes. Yeah, Alonso took the penalty. Like I say, sometimes I'm more stupid than I think I am. And it is definitely better than watching Leicester. Especially as this time we've actually got a horse in the race. Well, I have with Alonso. Yeah, I mean, Alice Powell, British racing car driver, said surprised the safety car because he wasn't in a dangerous position and he turned the car around. I don't know. The safety car is an Aston Martin. No bias there then, eh? Stroll drove off and parked in a safely in part in the track. Yeah, exactly. Because I looked at it and I thought he's not crashed, but then they started spraying him with the fire extinguisher, and I'm thinking, why are they doing that? Yeah, I just didn't. Can I say it looked pretty safe to me, but like I say, let's be honest with you. Had then somebody hit a stone or something and come off and gone into him, Yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry. Safety car is still out. Don't know what they're doing. Anyway, Chris, let me know about the 2nd of April, mate. Let me know if you're up for it. Is that the Australian one? Yeah, it is. So it's going to be an early start. It's going to be about 6 in the morning. So let's have a look what's going on. What's going on? The safety car is coming in this lap. Leclerc tried to push from safety car line 1. Hamilton just pitted. Safety car is ending. We're pretty much as we were. Bottas is in 18th, Nate. Alfa Romeo, you've got to say, that was tempted before I actually thought, no, I love Aston Martin too much. It did tempt me. Yeah, they're all bunched up now. It's just going to be an absolute free-for-all. They're doing a little bit of their weaving again. They obviously never got a loom, did they? Perez, Alonso, Russell, Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Ocon, Gasly is the top 10 as we are about to go. Go, go, go! And Perez leads the way. What's Alonso going to do now? Russell 3rd, Verstappen 4th with the fastest lap, Sainz 5th. The two Alpines are racing each other. Nobody ever seems to have got through that safety. But Verstappen is closing in on Russell. And immediately Alonso falls 1.5 seconds behind. Wow, Perez soon pulled away there. All on hards, apart from Hamilton's on medium. Sargent's on medium. Zhu's on medium. Bottas and Norris are on medium. Everybody else is on hard tyres. Thank you, Gray. Thank you very much. Fulham are 1-0 up against Arsenal. Are they playing Arsenal? Oh, it's the FA Cup, isn't it? It's the FA Cup. Right, Russell and Verstappen. Is Verstappen going to take him? Leclerc's taken Hamilton, I think. Leclerc, has he taken Hamilton? It seems to have held him off. No, Hamilton has taken Sainz. Hamilton has taken Sainz. Hamilton is up to 5th. And he's less than a second behind Verstappen. Yeah, it will be, Chris. It will be. Yeah, I just realised. I was looking on my list. I thought it's not a league game, Shane. Wow. So Hamilton really, bless, he is putting up a fight. He had a couple of bites at Sainz there. And the second time he took him on the outside. Wow. We've got Perez, Alonso again dropping well back behind Perez now. Again, 3 seconds. Perez just seems to have that bit of extra race. You get to the front, these Red Bulls get to the front, and I don't think there's much stopping them. I have to say, Verstappen is well, I mean, we're not even halfway through yet, but he's going to get driver of the day, hasn't he, Verstappen? I think it did, Chris. I think you're right. welcome along to anybody that is new that has come via Chris. I do appreciate you popping in, and I appreciate Chris putting it out. If you are new, please do subscribe. Hopefully, I will be getting Chris on in a couple of weeks' time for the next race, see if he's free or not. But give us a subscribe. We do a Formula One show, usually it's Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, just before the actual Formula One race. We will do the Formula One show. And then we do that Wednesday nights. Chris, you're welcome to come on that as well, of course, if you want, not just the race. I say, get in touch with me. Alonso is saying, tyres feel very good. I like this tyre. He may like it, but he's not doing very much against Perez, who's now nearly 4 seconds ahead of him. We're nearly halfway through. Stuck in 19th, Bottas. Aye. Maybe not the best move when he left Mercedes, but maybe he didn't have any choice, really, did he? Perez, Alonso, Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton. Verstappen's taken Russell! Verstappen has taken Russell and is now only a second behind Alonso. Verstappen there. Perez has just taken the fastest lap off his co-driver. But Verstappen there seemed to take Russell very, very easily. So Verstappen's up to third. "12 places he's gained, Verstappen. Wow. So it's now Red Bull, Aston Martin, Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari. That's your top 7. Leclerc's made 5 places up. Sainz has dropped 2. Hamilton's up 2. Russell down 1. But Verstappen up 5. What can you say? And Bottas, just for you, Nat, there, I'm afraid he's down 5 places to 19th. So Verstappen is going to be chasing down Alonso now. Now this is going to be interesting, as you very well said, Chris. What's going to happen? Because Alonso's going to take second. There's no doubt about that. It's a case of when, not if. He's right up his behind now. Is he going to do it? He's going around the inside. No, he didn't quite have the speed or the track to do it before the corner came. Alonso can see him. He'll be filling Alonso's mirrors up. It's a wide. He's taking him. It's just got to the wide part of the track, and he just slips past him. Verstappen is now in second place. OMG, nearly just under 6 seconds behind Perez. And I'm interested, as you were, Chris, to find out what are Red Bull going to do? Because if you were Perez, you've been leading for it's 25 laps now, so half the race. You don't want to be told to move over for Verstappen, do you? But Verstappen is, well, as things stand at the moment, Perez is top of the Drivers' Championship with 44. Verstappen is second. Now, from a team's point of view, obviously both Red Bulls, it doesn't matter 1, 2, which order they come in. If I was Perez, I would not want to move over for Verstappen. 5.5 seconds now. Hamilton is just over a second behind his co-driver Russell. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Max is obviously the number 1 driver. Nobody can dispute that. He's world champion. I totally get that. But like I say, if I was Perez, I'd be saying, bugger off. I want this. I want my win. He's got the fastest lap again, has gone to Perez. Alonso, less than a second though. No, just as I said that, Verstappen takes the fastest lap, 1:33.426. Oh. Hamilton is the only driver in the top 10 on medium. Alonso is now starting to fall behind Max. He's a second now behind. Will Russell or Hamilton be able to catch Alonso? That is the question. Yeah, totally, Chris. You know, what you don't want is two drivers, but both same teams, racing each other and then possibly having an accident. And we've seen that down the years many, many times. If you're going to have an accident, well, you don't want an accident, and it's bad enough when it's with a driver from another team, unless you're obviously Schumacher and you just take people out so you can win the championship. Oh, did I say that out loud? But you do not want to have a crash with your teammate while you're battling for the race and both cars go out, because your team principal ain't going to be happy. Plus, it's his teammate. You would think Max would be unselfish, but if he's closing gap on Perez, then I understand. I mean, like I say, at the moment, Perez is now 1 point. Verstappen's ahead. He's got 44 points in the drivers' championship. Perez has got 43. You know, and over the length of the 20-odd races that there is, I don't know how much, 27 is it, something races that there is, we know that Verstappen's more likely to win the championship than Perez. So let him have his moment. But like you say, I understand, you know, you want Verstappen because you want him, you know, you got to look and say, well, is anybody going to catch him though? I don't think they are, but you're going to want him to win. Because he is the champion and he's your best chance of winning it again. Albon's coming in today. He's suffered brake failure. And he is going into the pits now. Albon for Williams. He's got no brakes. So I'm not sure how he's going to stop. That could be interesting. He's not in the pits yet. He's just driving round. Bottas is up to 18th, Nate. Yeah, you don't, Chris. That's the problem because of the crashing, you know. And at the moment, there's 5 seconds behind. Obviously, Verstappen, fastest lap, he is closing in. Hamilton's got DRS if he wants to use it against his teammate. He's got him in his sights. He's coming right up behind him. Yeah, Russell just round the corner and he just pulls away again. Another fastest lap for Verstappen. Just over 5 seconds behind Perez now. Oh, Hamilton, less than half a second behind Russell. Russell is 2 seconds behind Alonso, who's 3.5 behind Verstappen. It's Russell and Hamilton. We've got 2 Red Bulls racing. We've got 2 Mercedes racing. And sandwiched between those 4 cars, it's Alonso in third. I mean, I think Alonso came second last time due to car failure. But I don't think he's going to be able to get second back. The gap between Alonso and Verstappen is growing. Yeah, Albon is going really, really slow now, heading towards the pits. Hamilton, 199 miles per hour. If you did that on the M1, you'd get a ticket. And Albon's coming in. He's going very, very, very slow for obvious reasons. I just wonder how they're going to stop that car. If he hasn't got any brakes, what are they going to do? Well, he stopped, so I'm guessing he's got some sort of brakes. 6 does not finishes for Albon. So him and Stroll for Aston Martin are both out. Williams' woes continue. Russell and Hamilton still fighting for 4th. Russell on hard tyres. Hamilton is on medium. The gap's grown slightly to 0.8 seconds. I mean, I can't believe I'm looking at this and going, He's dropped to 8.8 seconds behind. But it's at this speed. The gap is increasing. The Aston Martin guy is looking. Yeah, he's now nearly 5.5 seconds behind Verstappen, who is just 5 seconds behind Perez. We're currently looking at the battle of 12th between Hulkenberg of Haas and Sargent of Williams. 0.4 seconds at the moment. It was 0.1 a few laps ago. We're on lap 29. Why have those 4 laps gone? Yeah, definitely, Gray, definitely. Yeah, I can say, you don't want to risk anything, do you, Chris? You don't want your 2 drivers running into each other. As I said, Verstappen is not going to give up without a fight, and he's eating into the gap. Alonso is minding his own business in 3rd, and Hamilton has dropped out of DRS range of Russell. And still no team orders looking likely at Mercedes. Now, again, with those team orders, you know what? I get it. I get it, because Russell was the better driver last season. He finished top. So why would he be told to move over for Hamilton? Tom, good evening, sir. How are you? Welcome along. I hope you are well. Welcome along. 30 laps gone in this one, Tom. 20 to go. Perez still that 5.5 seconds in front of Verstappen, who keeps getting a fastest lap. Alonso 6 seconds behind. Russell 2 behind that. Hamilton's dropped off Russell a little bit, but Hamilton's still managing to stay 3 seconds ahead of Sainz, who is just 1.5 seconds ahead of his co-driver Leclerc. So we've got 2 Red Bulls in 1st and 2nd, then an Aston Martin, then 2 Mercedes 4th and 5th, 2 Ferraris 6th and 7th, 2 Alpines 8th and 9th. Then we've got 2 Haas 11th and 12th. And we've got 2 McLarens, bless them, in 16th and 17th. So it's all, we've got like a couple of 3-legged races going on here, haven't we? But anyway, Albon is out, Stroll is out. Zhu is trying to catch Sargent for 13th place. Zhu, of course, in the Alfa Romeo. Bottas is still the last driver. Sorry, Nat. He's still the last driver. But what a race, Gray. You are quite right. What a race. What a track. I mean, I know there's a lot of criticism about these races in the Middle East for different reasons, but the track is smart. I love night racing. Night racing when it's dry. Let me look at the cars. 31 laps in, and there's not a speck of dirt on them. They just look so brand new. Alonso's dropping even further behind Verstappen, but unfortunately the bad news is that neither Russell nor Hamilton are closing in on Alonso. But yeah, I've got to say, driver of the day has got to be Max Verstappen. De Vries and Norris, 15th and 16th. AlphaTauri and McLaren. It's interesting because, of course, the rumours were that AlphaTauri might be being sold by Red Bull, because, of course, there's Red Bull's second team. And Andretti, who's very big in American racing, wants to break into Formula One, and they reckon that's how he might do it, by buying AlphaTauri. Another fastest lap now. It's under 5 seconds gap. Verstappen, 1:32 just over, and he's 4.9 seconds now behind Perez. Suppose if you're being told to move over, but then again, would it work the other way? Would Verstappen move over to Perez? He's not one of the most popular drivers on the grid, Max Verstappen. Russell has been told his pace is looking good, but that he can lean on the rears. Alonso now over 8 seconds behind Verstappen. Alonso's given up the race, to be honest with you, which is a bit disappointing, but you've got to say if you're not going to, and he's not going to keep up with the Red Bulls. It's going to be another season. Alex Albon apparently was quick on both compounds. We need to understand what happened. Clearly frustrating for him. The brake discs are still responding with temperature, so we need to understand where we have a problem. That medium tyre is working very well. Logan Sargent will make it to the end from here today, and it's just a good tyre by comparison. How high you can go, points are on the cards today if he gets it right. So there's high hopes there for Albon from his team. For Sargent from Williams. They're in 13th at the moment, so they are out of the points. Alonso 9 seconds now. And the worrying thing is Hamilton is dropping off Russell. He's now over 2 seconds, nearly 2.5 seconds behind Russell. But Sainz isn't making any headway against Hamilton. So we might have to look further down for a bit of action as Sargent comes up behind Hulkenberg. Is Sargent going to be dishing out some corporal punishment here? And well, let's hope there's no major damage. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be let out on my own, should I? Sargent did have DRS on Hulkenberg then, but he didn't take advantage. He's less than a second behind him now, though. No, you can't take that away from him, to be honest with you. Well, Verstappen is down to under 5 seconds, like I say now, behind Perez. But yeah, look. You're not going to go in. I don't care what you're saying. It's annoyed me when they try to say when your kids don't race. It's about taking part. It's not about the winning. When they're trying to do that for school kids. I used to teach my sons under 11, 12, what it was at the time, and I had Dad go mad at me because I didn't bring his son on. And I said, well, when he turned up, and I said, well, yes, but he wasn't good enough and in the position I needed for this game. Life's hard. You've got to get used to these knockbacks. So if you are out there, if you are Max, you are going to want to win. And I would. If I was Max, I'd want to win every bloody race. You don't get behind that car and risk your life if you don't want to win the race. How are people rating this? How do you rate this against the Bahrain Grand Prix? Think this is more exciting or less exciting? Perez 1, Verstappen 2. Leclerc is not happy in 7th behind his co-driver Sainz. Being like this behind is really shite, says Leclerc. He's just cruising behind his teammate, both on the same tyre, and with team orders highly unlikely as a result. 6th and 7th isn't really what Ferrari would expect from this race, especially since it is pretty much on merit. Interesting. Yeah, it does frighten you. If you've ever gone over 100 on the motorway, which of course I never have done, it is frightening though sometimes. You're there and you go to overtake somebody and suddenly, fucking hell, I'm going that quick. But you think, oh, who's this? This is Tsonda and Magnussen. Magnussen in 11th. No, he's a second now behind Tsonda. He couldn't take him. He had his chance there. Tsonda's now pulling away. But if you ever did occasionally just happen to go over 100, yeah, my God, it's frightening. And the frightening thing is when you suddenly realise that if anything goes wrong, you ain't going to have control of that car. So if you are going to sit in one of these Formula One cars, drive at that speed around that course, with those other drivers still trying to beat you, yeah, you're going to want to win. We're just looking now. Hulkenberg in 12th. There's a few of those cars from 12th down that are all backing up. The Williams of Sargent. He is less than a second behind Hulkenberg, who is then nearly 4 seconds behind his co-driver Magnussen. At the top, it's all as you were. Hamilton's still on the medium tyres. He's now nearly 3 seconds behind Russell, but there's air between him and Sainz. I'm just wondering, do you think that this is just now being run out? Is it being, down? If you are on the Formula One live timing, you can now go on and vote for your driver of the day. Come on, then I'll have a vote. Who shall I vote for? Of course, who I'm going to vote for. If I can find him. There we go. Yeah. Got a vote for Max Verstappen for me for driver of the day. Easily way and above anybody else. It's not as I haven't taken to him. I don't like him, but I respect what he does, and I respect the fact that he has just controlled this race. He's 4.5 seconds behind Perez. He's nibbling away at Perez's lead, but for what he has achieved, I've got to say, fair play, mate. Fair play. Bottas is out. Bottas is out. No, he wasn't. He was just coming out of the pit. Sorry, Nate. 9 men, Fulham. Good God. There's more drivers on this racetrack than Fulham have got on the pitch. Every other lap between Perez and Verstappen, one lap the gap shortens, the next gap it widens, then it shortens, then it widens. If they weren't teammates, it would actually be quite interesting. Alonso is now 13 seconds behind Verstappen. He's just happy with third, isn't he? Oh, Verstappen, he's not happy with his drive shaft. He said it's running a bit rough. They didn't believe him in the pits. They questioned him. Now then, could this have a bearing on the race? Doesn't seem to be affecting his... Well, he's still around the 5 seconds behind. Oh, he went off there. He went well off the track. They both did. They both went off the track there. Sorry, he's still after Sargent. And has he taken him? Zhu has taken Sargent. Verstappen saying it is making a weird noise at high speed. I just need to sign back into this, guys. Won't be a second. It's thrown me out. So, Perez, Verstappen he's dropped back a little bit now. He has dropped back a little bit. Alonso, nearly 14 seconds behind, which is a shame. He's just, like I say, he's just happy to sit in third. Russell there is 4 seconds behind. Hamilton nearly 3 seconds behind Russell. So we've still got Red Bull, Aston Martin, Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Haas. I have to say, Greg, I do have a feeling, the end of this season, Verstappen is obviously worried. He's asking for any feedback. Or they're asking him, and he's saying, yes, it's still there. So they obviously can't fix whatever it's got. But it doesn't seem to be slowing him down. He's back to 4.5 seconds. So I don't say it doesn't appear to be a major problem. Ten laps to go, guys. 10 laps to go. Now, Perez isn't happy. Perez is complaining about a long brake pedal. And I don't know what one of those is. It's a long time since I've had a long anything. Magnussen's biting back, nibbling back at the Sundu. That is 1 second behind him. It pretty much, I'm going to guess here, and I don't think I'm going to risk anything in saying this, but I think we might see this is the order that they're going to finish in. Like I say, for me, not as exciting as Bahrain. I've got to say, the thing that's kept me really interested in this is Max Verstappen, and I'm going to say all credit to him. And he got my man of the match, for fuck's sake, my driver of the race. So well played to him. And that's been the most exciting part. There's a battle for 14th between 4 cars. Sargent from Williams, De Vries from AlphaTauri, Norris and Pastari from McLaren. Nate, if you're still watching, mate, Bottas is 18th still. Sorry, buddy. But it stays in that order. The blue car of Sargent, followed by the white one of De Vries. Closes up as they go round the chicane. They're all bunched up, all 4 of them all together. Are we going to see anything happening here? Of course, Norris and Pastari are obviously teammates, so Norris won't want to give up a place to Pastari because I think Norris would feel he is the more senior of the 2 drivers, obviously. Just saying then, whatever's up with Verstappen, it's not putting. He's 4.2 seconds behind Perez now. Nate, I love it. I love it. It's too warm in Saudi Arabia for Bottas. I love it. Oh, mate. You guys make me laugh. I thought somebody had stopped them, but it was just my stream buffering. I can remember when McLaren, you know, they had Alan Prost, James Hunt. James Hunt won the title when he was at McLaren. Is he going for it? He's going! De Vries has got Sargent! De Vries has taken Sargent on the corner. Lovely move. And now Norris is after Sargent. Can Norris get him? He's right up his bottom on the straight. But no. Well, able to take advantage of the DRS then. But they're all so close together, those four. Perez. Perez is arguing with his teammates about, why are you telling me this? What's Verstappen doing? What's Max doing? He's doing 34, so why are you telling me 33? Definitely grey. Exactly. If you don't want to win it, why are you in it? So De Vries in 14th, Sargent 15th, Norris 16th, Pistorius 17th. That is the most exciting battle on the grid at the moment. 43 laps gone. Mika Hakkinen is there. Oof. That can't do the cars any good. They've just shown Lando Norris going over, like, you know, the raised curb. Sparks were coming out from under his car. Sargent in 15th, Norris in 16th. Sargent did suffer some corporal punishment off De Vries. So it's Perez still leading. Verstappen up 13. They are saying now, we don't need a battle. Just go for the race. But they say we don't need the battle. So what's going to happen? 6 laps to go. They're still with Sargent at the moment. There's a lot of radio talk between Perez and his pit crew at the moment. I must say, it is nice to have a... Hi, Daz, how are you doing? Hamilton is in 5th, up 2 places from the grid. He's 3 seconds behind Russell, but he's nearly 5 seconds ahead of Sainz. So I think the top 7 or 8 are all going to finish where they are, to be honest with you. In fact, the top 9, the only one that might change is 10th, where Magnussen might be able to sneak, get the place back, but he's over a second behind Tsunoda. But the battle at the moment is for Sargent. Norris is only 0.6 seconds behind him. Guys, thank you. If you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering every Formula 1 race that I'm able to do, as well as having a regular Formula 1 show 2 or 3 days before the actual race itself. So please do subscribe. And if you're watching it, just smash the likes, because that helps as well. Max is up to 2nd, Daz. Yeah, he's up 13 places. Perez will get 26 points at the moment, because, of course, Perez has also got the fastest lap. Verstappen will get 18 points. Alonso 15, Russell 12, Hamilton 10. Sainz 8, Leclerc 6, Ocon 4, Gasly 2, and Tsunoda 1. Bottas isn't happy, Nate. He asks if there is something wrong with the car. This team say no, but the fun is insistent that there must be, as it has no pace. I think we were case there of saying no shit, Sherlock. Tsunoda is in 10th. He is half a second ahead of Magnussen now in 11th. The two McLarens are fighting each other. I hope they're going to be careful with the last thing that McLaren needs is both those cars going out and getting damaged. Really? Really, Gray? Bloody hell. Pistori takes Norris. Has he taken Norris? I think he has. Yes. Pistori has taken Norris. Did he? Yes, he went down the outside in the bends. Went round one, just ahead, went round the second and pulled away. There was nothing Norris could do there. Or is he? I'm confused because Norris is still being shown as ahead. So it might have been. They did go behind a tower, so maybe they didn't. Magnussen has taken Tsunoda though. Magnussen has taken Tsunoda on the wide race start. No, Norris is still ahead of Pistori, so I presume it was when it went behind that tower. So Magnussen has moved up to 10th. Tsunoda loses his points for AlphaTauri. Magnussen's going to get a point for Haas if it stays this way. There's only 4 laps to go. At the top, it's still Perez out in the lead, nearly 6 seconds in front of Verstappen, and he's got the fastest lap. Verstappen is second. Alonso is now 17 seconds behind Verstappen in third. Russell in fourth, nearly 5 seconds behind that, and 3.5 seconds behind Russell is Hamilton in fifth. Then you've got the 2 Ferraris of Sainz and Leclerc in 6th and 7th respectively, and Ocon and Gasly 8th and 9th for Alpine again respectively, but Ocon's 11 seconds behind Leclerc. Magnussen is 8 seconds behind Gasly, so I don't think anything's going to happen there. Verstappen is now back to nearly 6 seconds behind Perez. So I think Perez is going to take the win after everything that we said. We're down to the last 3 laps now. I can't see much changing now. Norris could take the place off Sargent. He's just over half a second behind, but he's also got Piazza up his arse as well because he's less than that behind Norris. You don't want me saying, do not McLaren want anything silly to happen. Don't fight amongst yourselves. You can't afford to have a car out. And it is only the battle for 15th. Daz, no, I was saying this earlier. It's the 2nd of April in Australia, so it's going to be about 6 in the morning here. So have an early night. That's if I can wake up and come on. I'll do my best, guys. Oh, dear. In fairness, look, Alonso 16 seconds, nearly 17 behind Verstappen in third. That's a good result for Aston Martin. They'd have taken a third at the start of the season. Yeah, so Australia on the 2nd of April, Daz, is the next one that's up, and we will try and be there. Yeah, we've got Sargent, Norris and Piazza, all there, 15th, 16th, 17th respectively. Less than a second between the 3 of them. Oh, he's taken him. Norris has been taken. Surely this time he's taken Norris. Yes, finally. I thought he had before. This time he has. He just cruised past Norris. Norris offered nothing. Absolutely nothing there. Sargent actually pulled away from the pair of them because it was on the straight. He's been caught back up again now. But Norris, Norris just had absolutely nothing to fight back with. I mean, Piazza's on the hard tyres, Norris is on the medium. Bottas is still on the soft ones, but he's 36 seconds behind Norris. Sorry, Nate. But so we are down to the last few laps now. I'm not sure, Daz. I'll have a look for you because the race is about to finish. Remind me in a couple of minutes. I'll have a look when the one-off after that is. You probably could be right. But I just want to see. We're on the 49th lap here. Perez, nearly 7 seconds ahead of Verstappen now. Perez is going to come home and take the checkered flag. He's just coming up to his last lap. He's on his 49th. It's a 50-lap race. He's driven to be fair to Perez, he's driven a perfect race. Lost that lead to Alonso right at the start, but we're on the last lap. We are on the last lap. Then he took it back. Alonso obviously had to come in for the 5-second penalty. I mean, he would have still been 10 seconds behind Verstappen even without that. Alonso's in third. We're about to see the checkered flag in any time now. It's 5 seconds from Alonso to Russell, and then nearly the same from Russell to Hamilton, and then again almost the same to Sainz. So the checkered flag will be coming out any second now. Perez, fair play to him. He's driven a good race. It's the joy of getting pole and being out in first. Alonso flattered to deceive. Just onto the last half of the race now. He goes round. He'll be able to see the flag any time now. Just coming round. There it is, the flag. Perez, number 11, is first. Gets the fastest lap as well. Verstappen is second. No, Verstappen's got the fastest lap. Verstappen's taken the fastest lap off him. Wow. Verstappen is second. 1:31.906 is the fastest lap time. Alonso comes home third. That's the podium as we talk. 2 Red Bulls. Alonso, second podium in a run. Red Bull are happy. Of course they are. Russell is over the line. Hamilton is over the line. Sainz comes home in 6th. Leclerc pretty much is going to come home in 7th. Piazza has taken Sargent. Wow. While we're watching the end of the race, Piazza from McLaren took over Sargent from Williams. And now Norris is after him. Can Norris get past Sargent and get up a place? Bottas has finished, but of course he's a lap behind, so he's been flagged, but he's going to come in last. I don't think that we're going to see Norris take the Williams. Not a good day for Williams. Obviously, Albon was out. And Sargent is going to finish 16th. And they've all finished. And that's how it finishes for you, gentlemen and ladies. Perez first. Verstappen second with the fastest lap. Alonso third. 4th is Russell, 5th Hamilton, 6th Sainz, 7th Leclerc, 8th Ocon, 9th Gasly, 10th Magnussen, 11th Sonder, 12th Hulkenberg, 13th Zhou, 14th De Vries, Pistorius was 15th, Sargent 16th, Norris 17th, Bottas just there for you, Nate, in 18th, Albon and Stroll, obviously both of those retired. Well done, Perez. But I have got to say, Verstappen, driver of the day for me. I gave it to Alonso last week, but you've got to say he deserved it so much. I just want to have a look for you. After the 2nd of April, the next one, we've obviously got no Chinese Grand Prix. So after it's going to be the 30th of April. So we've got the 2nd of April, then the 30th of April for Azerbaijan in Baku. Because here there's no Chinese one. Wow. Let me know. I'm exhausted. Well done, Perez. That's all I can say to him. But Max Verstappen, I'm not your biggest fan. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? Driver of the day, mate. You deserve the respect. 15th on the grid. And I know it is actually a wide street circuit. But you've come from 15th up to 2nd on a street circuit, mate. Driver of the day. That's all I can say. As it stands, the drivers we are looking at, Verstappen is first with 44, Perez second with 43, Alonso third with 30, Sainz fourth with 20, equal with Hamilton on fifth with 20, Russell sixth with 18, Stroll 7 with 8 points, Leclerc 8th with the second Ferrari with 6 points, Bottas 9th with 4, Ocon 4 in 10th, Gasly 4 in 11th, Magnussen 12th, Albon 13th, both with 1 point each, and then it's nil point down to the bottom. On the live side, on the constructor side, I should say, Red Bull Racing, wow. 87 points. First and a third last week, first and a second this week, and obviously got the fastest lap as well. 87 points. Aston Martin and Mercedes joint second with 38 points, then Ferrari with 26. We are going to be back in 3 weeks, is it 2 weeks? With the Australian Grand Prix. I think it's 2 weeks away. I'm not sure, actually. Let's have a look. What are we on? The 19th today. 2 weeks' time, we'll be back. Hopefully, if I can wake up 6 o'clock in the morning for the Australian Grand Prix. Can anybody catch Red Bull? That's the question. And I think we'll still be asking that same question 5 or 6 races in. Because it's not going to be 5 or 6 races until Mercedes think they're going to have a car that is going to be good enough to challenge. So can anybody catch them? All I'll say is thank you so much to everybody that was watching. Thanks to everybody Thanks to Chris for sticking out his details on his channel. Thanks to anybody who's come over from his channel to watch. If you're new, please do subscribe. Like I say, we're trying to try and cover as many races as we can. And before the race, we will be doing a preview of that race a few days before as well. And I'm going to try and start doing some reviews as well for that. And thank you. Subscribe if you're new. Smash that likes button. If you're listening on podcasts, our podcasts go out on as Leicester Till I Die on all the main podcast platforms and many of the others as well. And it's on YouTube and Twitch on Leicester Till I Die TV. And a big, huge thank you to Gray for the donation today. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to go off and have a beer now. And I'll see you soon. Indeed, Nate. Maybe you want to change from Bottas. I don't know. But I'll see you tomorrow. We've got 2 shows. We've got the European Group predictions with Doug at 6 o'clock. And then, of course, at 9, we are going to be having the normal question time show. Have a good rest of the weekend, everybody. Thank you for all those that joined in. Thank you for those that came over. Thank you, Gray, for the donation. All the best, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and have a good Sunday evening. Here's Arnie.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
I'm looking for Dr.